Good evening, welcome to this quarantine edition video. As in today's topic, we're gonna go ahead and discuss about everything that we know so far about the next generation Apple Watch. And we got more information about watchOS 7. So sit back, relax, and let's discuss everything that we know so far. Now, unfortunately, if you've been using a Series 2 Apple Watch, there's a slight chance it will no longer become supported by Apple for watchOS 7. There's a few reports coming from trusted sources, one of which was the verifier, stating that it's possible watchOS 7 isn't coming to the Series 2. All of this is just a rumor. At this point, nothing has been really confirmed yet. There's no codes that have been leaked out or anything like that, but don't be surprised if it does come true, because the speed test that we tested out in a previous video, the Series 1 at certain times was actually outperforming the Series 2. I'm not really sure why this is the outcome, as the Series 2 it's newer than the Series 1, but because of its performance issue, that may be the reason why watchOS 7 isn't coming to the Series 2. But newly codes was found from 9to5Mac, showing new evidence that a kids mode is very likely to come out soon. Because in this article, they found a new activity ring for the kids mode. This will obviously help your kid become more active, as they're also able to track their progress and check out their activity levels, and us as parents will also have the ability to see the activity levels of our child. 2 weeks ago, we talked about this in the previous video about some of these early leaks for watchOS 7, but this is more evidence showing that this mode is actually coming, as later on we'll be able to give our Apple Watch to our kids, and it's not going to be required for them to have their own iPhones to have the Apple Watch working for them, as later on our phone is actually going to allow us to have separate profiles. So you can pair multiple Apple Watches to one iPhone. But you being the parent or the guardian, you're going to have control for the kids profile, where you can actually enable like a school mode. So when they're in class, they're going to be limited in certain applications as well as complications, so they don't get distracted during school sessions. And I'm also assuming if you give your child an LTE Apple Watch, or if they have a Wi-Fi connection, you'll be able to get a hold of your kid easily. Now, other goodies for watchOS 7 that's coming is new watch faces. Some of these watch faces is region flags, watch faces, and a new Infograph Pro. This has already been discovered and confirmed inside the codes, as well as the ECG is going to be improved for all the ECG enabled Apple Watches as soon as watchOS 7 comes out. This improvement will allow the ECG reader to actually read your heart rate at a higher BPM. Before, if you actually ran a marathon or you had a really high blood pressure, the ECG sensor wasn't able to accurately read or work properly, apparently, if you try measuring your heart rate at a high level. But with that new update, it'll be able to read it between 120 to 200 BPM just fine now. So now, as we already know, Apple is focused primarily on health when it comes to their Apple Watches. Every year we're seeing like a new integrated tools to help catch any health complications before it gets worse. Since currently, if your Apple Watch detects an unusual heart rate rhythm, you're gonna receive a push notification so that you could get treatment ASAP to prevent it from getting worse. That said, so this upcoming Series 6 is very likely to get a new oxygen sensor, which will help monitor your oxygen levels. But it still is left unclear if this is going to be a software update for watchOS 7 to the current Apple Watches that already have like ECG and such. Because this little gizmo, this device, hospitals have been using them. You could buy them at some retail stores as well. But the device typically attaches on the tip of your finger or on your ear. And since the Apple Watch is located on your wrist, the current LEDs, the heart rate sensors and all that stuff is probably not going to be as strong to detect your oxygen level. That said, it's very likely that the Series 6, we may see a new hardware improvement for the current sensors. So there's a slight chance it might not be a software update to unlock that feature. Or else we probably would have already seen something very similar on the current Apple Watches. But I guess we just have to wait and see what happens. But oxygen sensor is very likely to come. And then of course, other updates that hopefully we do get, but a lot of people are saying we're going to receive a new Wi-Fi enhancement. Since Wi-Fi 6 is now available for iPhones, it would make sense for the Apple Watch to also get this update, as well as a stronger, faster, more reliable LTE improvement for the cellular Apple Watch. And hopefully this time we actually see an improvement in its processor speed and performance. Unlike the Series 4 and 5, basically a rebrand processor, the Series 6 hopefully doesn't fall the victim for another repeat processor. I hope it actually does get an improvement, but will we actually see a new body redesign? Well, that's very unlikely to happen. Here's why. Because if we place down all the different generation Apple Watches, you see here, this is the Series 7000, which got renamed to Series 0. and that started the Series 1, 2, and 3. So it was technically the third generation is when Apple redesigned the new Series 4 body style. So if it follows the same pattern, when the Series 4, the Series 5, and the new Series 6 gets released, that next upcoming one is the one that's going to be redesigned. And it's very likely it's going to feature a Touch ID sensor. Now, this is just me thinking out loud based from everything that I've seen on the market. But the Verify also talked about this, that Apple is currently working on a new Touch ID sensor for the Apple Watch. They also have a patent showing that Apple is currently working on a digital crown that will actually allow you to read your fingerprint as you rotate the crown to unlock the Apple Watch. Then other suggestions from other articles say that it's also possible that Apple could be implementing this new technology on the screen itself. Kind of like the ultrasonic sensors that some Android phones currently have, where your screen can read your fingerprints. Whatever the case may be, it's very likely that we're gonna go ahead and see this on the Series 7, not the Series 6, unfortunately, as they need to redesign a lot of things to make it all work. Because the digital crown already has a lot of hardware in there, the haptic feedback, and the ECG. I don't think there's gonna be any room for a fingerprint reader. What they can do is probably make that power button right here, since it's large enough, that could possibly be the fingerprint reader. The Touch ID found on a modern day MacBook Pro is pretty small. It could probably fit on that, but there's no word if Apple is actually going to go ahead and do that. So I don't personally think that the Series 6 is going to receive this, but I could be wrong. I'm just talking out of my mind right now. So I'm not claiming anything here. Now, if you're curious and you also want to look at some of these articles, I'll make sure to leave all these sources in the video description down below for you guys. And if you want more detail about those new upcoming watch faces, you can watch it all right here, as I pretty much cover that in a separate video. And if you want to see that performance comparison against every single generation Apple Watch, you could go ahead and watch it right here, so you can understand more on why the Series 2 isn't performing very well on even the latest version of watchOS 6. Again, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.